Guys, Keys Trades. Today is January 16th. Yet another great day. A one and done day. Took a nice trade off the open. There was a few other setups that I will review, but I did not take. But overall, there was some opportunity here. A bit of a choppier market, but we were able to execute perfectly fine. Coming to testimonials, we had Gabe caught our AM win. Earl caught a call out and some wins. Jordan took our 58-second trade, which hit beautifully, $600 profit. And then Gabe took a very great quality setup by himself. Again, that is a model that we take as well. My pre-market plan just did not work out today, and that's totally fine, right? Sometimes it just does not work out. But what do? My pre-market plan is just an overall guideline. Does not mean that I need to see this to take a trade, right? We adapt to the market. But I was looking bullish, right? We're respecting a 1 hour. We broke structure. We had a bullish news. We look good. But I had a short plan that said if we can see manipulation of buy side highs or sellers below the 1 hour, I would look short to these targets. And we end up having that play point, which is that 1 hour that we were respecting off open, right? And we found sellers through, and then we had my targets, right? The 352 and then the 245 low. So these were the main sell side targets we were looking at if we found sellers through, but I ended up getting a trade before then. Right off the open, made a nice aggressive push down. And we also left a very small SMT here. Boom. Right, we barely swept it on NQ here. As you can see, we ended up sweeping it out barely, making a higher high. And if we go to ES, we can see that off the open, we failed to sweep that high, making a lower high. So a very small SMT there. Again, our SMT inverse model did actually come, but it's just like way too early, right? Our entry would have to been right here off this 1 minute here, which we would not do. But we saw that aggressive selling come in very nicely. And I was looking towards a 5-minute fair value gap, right? Again, we had a nice aggressive selling pressure. We ended up shifting structure, leaving my play point, which is this 5-minute fair value gap. So I'm looking to see how we act there. There was technically an SMT inverse long here or here that would have stopped you out. Why did I not call that? I did not call that because we have aggressive selling off the open and a clear 5-minute fair value gap here. If I am looking long, I would stay disciplined, right? I don't need an early entry. I wasn't 100% confident. And if we look and zoom out on the market, we have plenty targets higher. So if I'm looking at buy side targets, I can stay disciplined and wait for the inverse 5-minute because minimum I will get paid 30, 60, to 77 points. So I don't need to get an early entry. If we can inverse, then I can look for the long there, right? It's totally fine for me to not, need to get in the trade so fast on an early entry. Now, if we have a clear and confident look, a clear draw, it's different. But here, we had aggressive selling off open, so there was no need for that trade, and we ended up being able to avoid ourselves a loss. Click the chart real quick. Put back in this level. As you guys can see the title of the video, a winning trade gone wrong, right? How did it go wrong? Capitalization, right? Although we did get like a over a 2-to-1, I just believe I could have capitalized a lot better on this position in my opinion. But again, small SMT, aggressive delivery lower, we draw back into this 5-minute and we get a rejection. So now I'm looking for what? A point of entry. And we have a small inverse fair value gap here. Once we got candle closure, I took my short. I got filled at 21,440, and I just placed my stop at this 5-minute here. A normal stop loss for me, and this was about a 12-point stop loss. And then my price target was just these small lows here. So it was a 12-point risk to profit, 35 points. So almost a 3-to-1, and I got fully out here. But I'm a bit upset with myself about this trade because I was, I think my looking for longs, I was so long focused, even though I caught a short, that I just played the trade too tight, right? 9 times out of 10, this is not a full TP for us. This is a scale point. We scale out for 35 points. We move our stop loss to break even, and we let it play down to what my plan said, right? What was my plan target here? 23.52. So I believe I could have, put stop in profit here. And once we saw a break of the lows, I would have moved my stop to midpoint of this 1 minute, and I would have got a nice delivery down to my target, right? So I just believe that although this was an entry and it just dumped straight down and hit a nice scalp, and at 35 points is a beautiful quality trade, I believe I should have capitalized a lot better and could have got an 88-point trade. I'm not upset about that whatsoever, right? Again, 20 points a day is really all I need, but I'm just, always got to get better. So I believe because I was so focused on long, so although we executed a great quality short model, that is my model, I just did not zoom out, right? The selling pressure was aggressive. Buyers failed to bid above the 5. This was a clear model to run down to this low. So I believe I should have scaled break even like I normally do, left a runner down to this low, or even just left a runner down to capitalize a bit more, right? But that's totally fine. A very minor mistake in that we will fix into the next day. But that is why it was a green trade gone wrong, because I believe I could have capitalized a lot better in line with my targets for my plan. But that was the trade we needed. We were done in 13 minutes, and that was it. Right? We stayed on a bit longer. Once we see this consolidation, bye-bye. We're done. I will not call a trade in here. There is no need for it. And we stayed disciplined, and that ended up being the smartest bet. And now, let's go over a few other potential setups that could have been taken. We have an SMT inverse setup here. As you can see, keep track of the opening high. Right, we failed to sweep out this opening high here. And we also leave that SMT. If we go to ES at around this 8 o'clock time point, we can see that around 8 o'clock, ES actually takes out the opening highs and sweeps out. So we can see ES make a higher high, and we go to NQ and see NQ make a lower high. So we have a bearish SMT. This is a classic SMT inverse model for us. And we also have not equal lows, but pretty close stacked lows here for targets. SMT inverse here. Again, this candle closure might be too far for me to get entry from. Yeah, 12 points away is a bit too far for me, so I would have waited for a small push back up. I probably would have got filled around here and just place your stop here. And we can look into potential targets. Again, this is a bullish break, so I would probably play this trade a bit tighter. And I would have scaled at that 5 minute in case we found some buyers. I would have scaled, got break even, move my stop to break even, and then my full PT would have been these lows, which hit just fine. We had Gabe take a continuation setup here, right? Once we failed to find that buying through the 5 minute, Gabe looked towards this respected 1 minute gap, got an inverse short here at the candle closure, and caught a beautiful quality scalp down to these lows. And then we ended up sweeping out these lows. And now we have another potential setup here. NQ swept these lows. So now we make a lower low. And this is a bullish SMT look. Keep track of this 842 mark in the lows off the open. If we go to ES now, we can see the 842 sell off here. We fail to sweep out the low, making a higher low. Higher low for ES. Lower low for NQ. So now we have a bullish point of confluence here. And again, I probably would not enter this first inverse, although it's the best. I would wait for both to be confident. And I probably would have got a retrace entry around here, just placing my stop below here. My targets for this trade, probably I would have played conservative. Do we have a 5 or 15 reprice? No, we do not. Do we have a 5 minute reprice area? I might have played it up to here, depending on risk to award. I do not think this risk to award is valid. No, it is definitely not valid. So yeah, I probably would have looked towards the consolidation highs. I probably would have looked for targets at these highs and then these highs. That probably would have been my play, but this is all hindsight, as I've already caught my win here. And then there was another potential SMT setup off the 5 minute SMT inverse again. That would have delivered nicely, but we decided to stay off the PM, right? We saw very bad action. And yes, I called this setup, but none of the members took it. And I'm totally fine with members not executing that setup because look at the market. It's pretty sloppy and slow. So after catching a win, some members caught 2 or 3 wins a day. Totally fine to stay disciplined. Although this trade would have paid ridiculous, it's totally fine. But that is going to be January 16th full day analysis. How my trade went wrong, even though I made money. Other potential setups that we took. And overall, this is a winning week. We show up to Friday, small size, composed. If we get something cool, if we don't, totally fine. I'm content with whatever we get. we have secured yet another green week. But thank you guys for watching. Leave a like, leave a comment, subscribe. And if you want to join the Discord, there's a link in the bio. We'd be happy to have any new members. But until next time, guys, peace out.